I was about 13 when I had gone to church a couple of times with my grandmother, and I'd, seen people at church at that point, but not much until then. And around that time, I found out my mom was dying of cancer. She had a brain tumor. And so I prayed and prayed and prayed, because they told me God could do anything, that she would be healed, and she wasn't. I was pretty mad at God, and so I had to go live with my dad, who was an alcoholic. Everything was okay with, as far as if I wanted to drink or I wanted to smoke, none of that really mattered. So I did, and because I found out it could make you feel numb. But I think my grandmother was praying for me, and she said I had a friend that came my way that invited me to church, and I went a few times, and finally she taught me into going to youth camp. So I went to a youth camp. I felt the presence of God stronger than I had never felt Him before, and I think that's the moment I was starstruck. I asked Him to forgive me, and I could actually feel Him come into my life, come into my body, and just change me and make me different than what I was ever before. Of course, it didn't last long, because I was a teenager and living completely in the world. But that was my moment, that you couldn't have told me anything ever any different, that God was not real. There's no way that you could change that after that experience with Him. It was probably a few years into my 20s when I finally decided that doing things my way wasn't working. So I finally just asked God to come back, and I think that whole time that I had gotten into trouble and gotten into all kind of stuff I shouldn't have been getting into, He had His hand on me that whole time, because there should have been a lot worse things that happened to me with where I was at and what was going on in my life. But the whole time He kept His hand on me and kept me safe and brought me back to Him. And I got scared one time, because I felt like my heart had just turned stone to cold. And I walked into church, I couldn't even feel His presence. I saw everybody else around me feeling His presence. And I said, God, I can't feel this anymore like this. I said, you gotta take the stone away. You gotta take the ice away, whatever it is, take it away, give me back to you. And He did that. And that was grace, and that was when I starstruck twice, because to be able to feel Him again and feel His presence again